So that simple little fucking entrance there will generate thousands and thousands over the years. I have just finished watching the Property Developer Show podcast, and it was about Jamie York. Jamie York was the guest, and I want to give my honest thoughts about the guy. And Jamie, if you're watching this, very small chance that you are, but I know you're a curious guy. I want to see if you agree. Now, so when I started out my property journey in 2020, came back from Australia in October, and I watched a couple of his videos, went to a networking event in Australia, and I was like, this is it, this is what I want to do. I found it. Came back, and in January 21, there was lockdown that was put on us all, wasn't there? So for that lockdown, Monday to Friday, I would trade stocks and crypto and NFTs on a site called VV. And on Saturdays and Sundays, yes, the crypto market was still open, but the stock market wasn't, so I'd spend that time researching property investment. And one of the main channels I watched was Jamie York. And basically, I got my first flip in April. Throughout that flip, I watched Jamie and learned more about just basic property investment. There was a lot of complex stuff in there, but basic understanding, that's what I was wanting to do. Lay the foundations to build like an empire on, you know, like Darth Vader. So the flip took a year because I didn't know anything about anything at the time. So that brings us to June 22. But for the last like 2 or 3 months, I was able to live in it. And when I was in that flip, like still working on it, I had Jamie on the TV, watching him at night. And my now fiance Lauren would go upstairs. She's like, fucking hell, it's so dull. You know, it's just property, it's just property. As Jamie says, boring vanilla buy-to-lets. Oh, that was a proper Yorkshire accent. I think you're from Burnley or something like that. Or is that where you done your first property investment? I don't know, mate. Why am I talking to him as if he's watching? Fucking hell. Back to the story. I'd be watching him, so I've obviously liked this stuff for a long time. I then done his deal packaging course, the Aspire Property Training Academy, EPTA, and I done that. And that basically taught me over the course of like 2 or 3 months, everything to get started in deal packaging, which is what I do now. At the time I was just sourcing, just finding deals. Now I do that plus like the full end-to-end portfolio building service, right? Anyway, I done that. I post in the Aspire group all the time. He always comments, giving me credit, thanking me and saying like compliments and stuff, you know, which is really nice. Flash forward to the end of 2022, I was nominated for the Young Property Entrepreneur of the Year with the Aspire Awards run by Jamie, Dan and Sam, and didn't win. Brilliant. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go for it next year. Next year comes around, get nominated again, and we won Young Property Entrepreneur of the Year with Aspire. This doesn't say a lot about Jamie, but at the event I asked for his advice, same with Dan, his business partner, and they gave me like solid advice about business and properties, like congratulated me and all that sort of stuff. And whenever I've had a question, whether it was through the training or DM at the end of a couple times, it's always answered. And I always like think I put some people on like a huge pedestal. I'm like fucking like, you're like a celebrity to me, because like all I like is property. All I do is property. I don't watch football. I don't watch nothing. Maybe a wee bit of boxing or the World Cup, but property is my life. So that's I was like starstruck when I met him and stuff. The training done was really done well, but his podcast there, he spoke a lot. He's the reason basically that I show the reality behind property investment, why I swear a lot. I don't do it because he does it, but he basically showed that when you're honest and you're telling the truth and you're telling the stories that you may think make you look bad, but they actually add strength and integrity to you. And basically, I went on this course, I was like, this guy fucking swears, like he doesn't care, like he's just himself, you know? He was like one of the few personalities in property. I know a couple other personalities now who are truly themselves. I'm not saying he's the only one, but at the time, for me, he was the only one. It's what navigated me towards him. And he stayed the same. And in that podcast, he was talking about how he lost £1.5 million. He was honest, saying like how he cried, how he was angry, punched a hole in the wall, messed him up. But then he shared the lessons that he learned. And it's nice to see that he still does that, still is an open book. And it's the same person who I invested my education into like years ago. Right, I had to answer a really quick call, but I'm now at the project. And to finish off what I was saying about Jamie, because I went on a way too long of a tangent, and it's weird for me to speak this long about a fucking guy. The whole point of why I wanted to bring it up is property's missing a lot of big personalities. It's missing a lot of honest, true, authentic people. Everyone's just, what I feel like is showing their best and not showing the worst as well, because they feel like it shows a bit of weakness, which it doesn't. It shows a lot of strength, man. The most DMs I get are when I tell the stories of where I look a bit shit, you know, lose money and all this stuff. So if you are going to be in property investment and you're going to be on social media and stuff, try and be authentic and yourself. That was the reason why I chose to go on Jamie's education. It's the reason why I picked some of my clients, because I do have people on board and I'm like, I don't think we're going to work together very well, man. And it's the reason why I do other people's education. Justin Ingrey's a close friend of mine. I'll put you down here. A close friend of mine, and that's why I done his education, because you know what, the personality, I was like, he's just authentic, he's real, he's funny, you know, and he's intelligent. Don't want to blow up smoke too much at bazaars, but listen, I don't know where I'm going with this. Don't know if I'm wasting your time. Let's go on and do a wee site visit. Right, HMO conversion, that's what this is. And dormer is up. This is Project Madagascar. The extension's been done. Joinery's continued throughout. Window's been cut out in this one here. This is for a client, deal packaging for a client. Again, started with Jamie Yorkson education, refined by Justin's education. Invest in yourself so others invest in you. Right, enough of that cheesy Tumblr shit. Look, everything's been put up. This is a double ensuite. That's a double ensuite. Spiral staircase in the middle. You know the drill if you've been watching the channel for a while. Door frames been put up. And here we go. Let's go downstairs. This is a studio, by the way. And that's a studio. Down here. Look at that, under the stairs. We've had to dig deep. I'd say deep. We've had to dig under there so we could fit this under the stairs. Why do we put it under the stairs? Because the plant room was where the ensuite was. So instead of having a plant room there, we've shifted the communal, well, that whole room over there. So let's say it was here. We've shifted it over here, took the space out of there, made that room still the same size. This is now 13 square meters instead of 9.5. Put that under the stairs. Boiler will probably go here. And this is it, and that's that. This is Project Madagascar. End value 460 odd thousand, 185 grand refurb, purchase price, I don't know, 135, 140, something like that. All whilst the client builds her business down south. Her focus is on her business, generates all her money, and then she puts it in stuff like this. That's where I come in. Save the day, you know what I mean? It's good, man. Here's the side entrance, I don't know if you can see it. Side entrance, so we can have double ensuite here. Because if we had to put an alleyway, if we had to put like a corridor, like there, then yeah, if we had to put a corridor here, this room wouldn't have been big enough for the double ensuite. We would have lost a room. So putting that side entrance there has meant we can put a room here, which gives us like an extra 625, 650 pounds per calendar month. So that simple little fucking entrance there will generate thousands and thousands over the years. Little things like that. Right, let's do a montage. We are at Project Western. I briefly took you here in the last video. And here we go. So as you can see, the extension has been up. We went over it in the last video if you want to see it, but in case you didn't, in case you only watched these site day visit videos, then skimming has made its way to downstairs. I'll show you the outside. The outside has been sandblasted and rendered, and well, rendering at the front is about to begin, but the rendering on the side is done. So studio, as you can see, the kitchen is being installed. Hood extractor fan is being installed. Stairs have been installed. Plastering, fresh smell of plaster has commenced. Whitewash is also commenced upstairs. Beautiful stuff. And here, they were here today, which is very, very beautiful to see, ladies and gentlemen. Kitchen being installed. So this is a studio. 5 studios and 1 double ensuite, by the way. And I may have sold another 5 studios and 1 double ensuite deal today. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And if you're interested, fill out the form below because I have deals available. Let's do this. That was a shit CTA, by the way. This, another studio. Studio's going there. Wardrobe is going there. It was the opposite, but we realized if we can shift us over here, we could put a corner unit in there and put the wardrobe over there. So the corner unit, basically the kitchen's a better kitchen, and the wardrobe, you still get the wardrobe space, which is nice. Let's crack on upstairs. The last room, I think it's been downgraded to just a regular ensuite. I don't know if I can call this a double no more. But desk is going behind there, probably a rail going there, bed, ensuite tucked behind the stairs. This is arguably the best room in the house. Studio, the loft conversion, the L-shaped dormer. You can see it's like a backwards L, but you know what I mean. Or if you look from this angle, L-shaped dormer. That's why we call it that. All right. Can you see out here? Yeah, extension. The extension's now being finalized. Ensuite in here. Now this one, the reason why I like it, it's not been revealed yet, but when this window gets installed, you have a beautiful view of all of Barbados. Come on. I think this is it. And that's that, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go with Sun Street next. I hope I can record it. I hope this video is not too long. And I thought I may as well ask, what are your thoughts on the property industry, social media? Because we started it at the start of that video where I slavered on about Jamie for too long. But I want to hear your thoughts, whether you DM me or comment below. What you think the property industry is missing, like social media wise. Is everyone just standing up, here's 5 ways to do this, here's 3 ways to do that, here's all my wins and none of my losses because I'm fucking perfect? Or are you wanting to see more behind the scenes like this? Because I have a few friends who have got electric personalities, and I keep saying to them, get on social media, it's needing you. The property industry, a few to name them that are already on social media doing bits. Justin Ingrey, Kyle Hart, Leon Hart, Jim Holland, to name a few. So those are big personalities that I fucking love. The Fontaine brothers are also good. I don't know them personally, but they are really good. So I think if you're watching this and you're not a dull bastard, get on social media, man. You'll be fun. We'll be watching you, and then we can film content together. Sorry to go off on another tangent. If you're still watching this, fair play. Got my act really quick. I've just put on the phone to the drawdown company for Western to convince them to issue the rest of a drawdown. for a couple of additional extras. Right, and I've got a client call in 20 seconds. Should I do it in here? Yeah, I'll do it in here. So, let's see. This is what it looks like. This is the chaos that unfolds. I'm hoping that I get signal. But I can't go home until I do this client call, potentially onboard a client, potentially sell a deal. Potentially sell a deal this morning. And come on, connect to my hotspot. Do something. Let's see if I've got it. I'm starving, haven't even eaten today, I'm fucking starving. I need to hire someone. I need to hire someone to do a lot of admin. Because this, I feel like a lot of the problems only I can solve though, and that's the thing that holds entrepreneurs back. And I don't want to be one of those entrepreneurs. So let's get this done. Let's try and close this client, or at least sell a deal. And crack on with the rest of the day. My laptop's fucking frozen. You okay?
How are you today?
Yeah, not too bad. I just, if you're wondering where I am, I'm at a finished project. I had to drive across Derby, and I managed to literally just sit down and open this in time, so.
No problem.
Alright, homeward bound. I am gonna end this with a little pro tip. If you stayed this long, fair play. I don't know if this will apply to like investors directly. It might do, but definitely will deal packagers, deal sourcers, and if you're a builder as well. So every Friday I do a weekly report. I go to the projects throughout the week, but I also do a weekly report on Fridays for my clients, along with like updated photos. And feel free to steal it, use it. You know, this is the structure of it. So I use ChatGPT just to build it up. The structure is overview, and then the overview of the week, that's the paragraph. The next is issues. So any issues, problems that came up, because they fucking will. And if they keep saying there's no problems for like months on end, they're hiding something. So any problems that came up, solutions, how we have solved them, if they were small, nitpicky problems, or if they're big problems, then how we are planning to solve them. What have we got in place to solve them? What's the plan? And then it's what happened this week, like in detail, like bullet points, like what happened this week, and plan for next week. Here's the plan for next week, because if there's a couple delays this week, here's how we're going to make it up next week, or plans for next week. Because a recent problem that we're having is late deliveries from manufacturers, whether it's carpets, tiles, etc. And obviously that should have happened this week according to last week's report, but it didn't. So then we've got to put in next week's report. That'll be in the issues and the solutions and the plan for next week. And then it's a summary at the bottom. Overview and summary. I don't really include the summary at the bottom. I used to. Up to you whether you want to do it or not. It could be the summary of the whole report to include everything, but the report speaks for itself. So I put that in ChatGPT. Create a report based off this structure. So overview, issues, solutions, what happened this week, plan for next week, right? And then what I do is, what I done at the start was get a builder to send a voice note, right? If I wasn't available, if I wasn't able to be there that week, if I'm in Scotland, I still do that. If I'm in Scotland, or if I'm on holiday, I'm away sick or whatever, I get the builder to send a voice note on WhatsApp. I download that WhatsApp, go on Clipto, Clipto, the website, transcribe it, and then copy that transcript into ChatGPT and say, using that structure that I just gave you, create a report based off this transcript, right? That's if I'm away. I do that same process if I'm doing a voice note myself whilst walking around the project. That's what I do most of the time. However, what I've recently discovered is ChatGPT, you can hit the little microphone icon, right? And then walk around the project, here's what's been done, and you probably take notes throughout the whole week. And then based on that structure that I've just given you, create a report based off the following transcript in UK English, right? And you might be thinking, Scott, you're outing yourself. You're not actually writing your reports, you know? And you might be thinking that. However, I'm leveraging ChatGPT. It writes the report. I obviously cross-check it. I'll add in things, take away things, Change a little bit here and there, happens on every single report, but basically that saves me having to sit and type for about 15-20 minutes per report. And I've got 4 builds on the go. I did have 5, so you're looking at a couple hours fucking wasted typing, you know, whereas I could just be doing that and fixing, you know. Leveraging AI, should you do it, should you not? Well, it saved me a lot of time, you know, it saved me a lot of time. And that's what's good to get started. And I'll tell you this much, if you are an investor and you're wanting to learn the intricacies of the build, right, get your builder to send you a voice note. You can do it with a text. If he sends you like an in-depth text of what's happened, you can copy that in and get it to do the same thing. But if you get them to send a voice note of those things, then you're going to learn so much. These reports can be just for you. Or if you're even doing a drawdown surveyor, every time they come out and do a drawdown survey or assessment, the surveyor comes out to assess the work completed, you can send him the last 5 or 6 weeks. Here's the reports, like the summary section of all of them, you know. Go and chat GPT. Here's the 5 reports since the last drawdown surveyor's visit. Create a description of the works that have been completed since his visit based on the reports given, right? And then you have a description of works you can give to the drawdown surveyor. You know, you can use these to your advantage. You don't have to be a deal packager or a deal sourcer. So that's a nice little tool to have. It helps you learn. You can see in depth why things are happening. And then you can go back, right? If you go, fuck, how did we solve that? Then you go in week 10 and you can see, here's that problem. We found a well in the garden. Here's how we solved it. You know, like that sort of thing. It's very good to have. It's just like a record of how you do things. And then you can turn it into a social media post. So you can create another ChatGPT chat with a prompt using the report given here, turn it into a short Instagram social media post, whatever, you know, or a caption, and then that's it. There's your post. Or individual bits. Here's this problem that came up. Here's how we solved it. And you can do that with each problem. And there's fucking loads of little posts that you can come up with. So whether you're a sourcer or not, that's a good little tip to have. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe. And if you want to work with me, fill in the form in the description below. That was the shittest CTA ever. See you in a bit.